Hi, you're watching a very special recording of Agenda AWANI right here in my own studio in Bukit Kewangan, Kuala Lumpur. But we have to do this recording because this is a special person that I'm here with, because he represents what I see as a breakthrough initiative for the country as far as digital economy is concerned. Because we've always been talking about it, we've always been debating about it, but really sitting down and building something out of it, I think this is the time for us to focus that discussion. I would like to introduce to you Mr. David Low, the General Manager of Southeast Asia for Luno. If you don't know what Luno is, you will want to know after this discussion. It's because I don't want to tell you what it is yet. I'll let David have the honor of doing that, but I'm going to force David now, because this is my studio, to project himself into the future, assuming all his corporate planning strategy, business strategy runs 100% to the mark. What does it mean in a few years' time for Malaysians in New Malaysia when cryptocurrency, for example, is no longer a bad term, but instead is a full-fledged, organically homegrown digital empowerment that will help us have better life? Did I put it, in a way that you can see it?
That's a very sexy way of putting it.
Go ahead.
So what we envision the future to be, there are many ways to look at it, right? You can look at it from the angle of investment. What it means is that can investments be made in a fast, cheap, and efficient manner? If I put myself 5 to 10 years in the future, we don't know when that might happen. What that can potentially mean is companies like, for example, startups and SMEs in Malaysia, imagine you be able to raise funds as easy as 1, 2, 3, right? From a global audience, investors around the world. And there's a trend that we're seeing cryptocurrency is heading towards, where people actually use cryptocurrency to raise millions of US dollars in investments from a global audience investors around the world in just 30 minutes, right? So that's one way to look at it. If you look at cryptocurrency as a use case to automate certain processes, we can imagine a world where ideally, let's say if everyone uses cryptocurrency to transact, because it's so programmable, it's a code at the end of the day, it's so programmable, you can actually code it and do things that you want it to do. So imagine just, for example, buying a house, right? Right now, if you want to buy a house, right, you have to sign a contract with a lawyer. You have to pay the lawyer some fees.
Yes.
Obviously, you have to take the thing to the land office.
Right.
You have to go to so many middlemen in between just to get the whole transaction executed in 3 to 6 months, right? Arguably, in crypto, because cryptocurrency is so programmable, powered by the underlying technology called blockchain,
Yes.
it allows you to basically execute the entire transaction end to end. Instead of taking 3 months, it might just take 3 seconds, right? Where, for example, the moment we sign an agreement by just clicking a single button online, right, it gets recorded into the blockchain, which is basically a system that's maintained by many parties. People vet it to make sure that the transaction is authentic, right? And instantly, right, the payment for the property gets transferred to another person in a split second, and it gets recorded to, link and recorded to many databases, which is also maintained by government, right? So that can be also another potential scenario where we see technology basically harnessing and revolutionizing all systems that we have today.
I don't want to say it before, now I'm going to say it, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is, cryptocurrency, digital, I hate to say the word money, because I think money is obsolete in the digital world, but currency, if you look at the black and white, it will be termed as digital assets and stuff. But don't worry, on this show we make it easy for you to understand. Put it this way, my first job was as a banker. If I was to send money to David, let's say David is bank B, mine is bank A, first the transaction happens between me and my bank. Then the transaction happens between bank A and bank B. And then only the transaction happens between bank B and David. Thanks to technology, chat ledger, blockchain and everything else, all this have digital records. and we don't need so many layers of intermediary, because between David and me, the debit and credit, as I understand accounting, happens straight away, verified not just by one party, but many designated party on the World Wide Web that can be all over the world, and they come together using the same platform of technology, almost instantaneously, verified everything, and records everything, and nobody could, duplicate it and make it into a fraudulent initiative,
or even edit it,
or temper it in any way. That's the beauty of what we're talking about. But many people in Malaysia are exposed, because of social media and everything else, from the speculative side of buying Bitcoin today, because 3, 6, 7, 8 months from now, the value will go up multiple fold. But we're going to come to that later. Since we have established, what's the difference between Luno's presence in Malaysia? So Luno deals with cryptocurrency, it gives you the platform, environment, if I can put it that way, ecosystem where you can do this feeling safe, protected, and legislated and regulated. So what's the difference between this time around, the end of November 2019 moving forward, as before, before all this agreement with the authorities, with the Securities Commission and everyone else, what's the main difference for you guys?
I think the key difference is compared to, so we entered Malaysia in 2015. We've been active since then. We've been accepting people's money, and we allow people to trade really securely through our platform to access into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we've been around for a while, right? I think, but the key difference for us is that for the first time, anywhere around the world, Malaysians can actually access into a platform which is already vetted by the regulators, right? And able to access to these mode of technologies in a very safe and secure environment, without having to fear that, of losing their money, or in case things go south, they have no one to find, right? So because we are here, we get a license, regulators know where to find us, and we have provided a lot of assurance to regulators with our systems in place, with the way we store, right, our customers' cryptocurrencies. So Malaysians can finally use a platform that they can trust, right? And they can know that we are here in order to access to these technologies and experiment with many, many different things.
To get the commission or the nod for layman from the SC, what did you have to do to get it for the operations here in Malaysia?
It's actually a very tough process, I'll be honest, simply because the Securities Commission are a group of really smart people. So typically speaking, what a lot of exchanges have to do is to first submit an application in simple terms. But it's more than just a simple application, it's a thick document, right? Detailing every single part of your business. And then what the SC will do is that they'll take your application and they'll vet it to make sure that whatever that's required, that they require for a regulated market operator to have, you have it, right? So for example, one of the legal requirements that they impose on the crypto exchanges is to store customers' cryptocurrency in hot and cold wallet. So it's basically, in simple terms, it's just a storage system where customers' cryptocurrency is connected online and offline as well, right? And most of the funds must be stored offline, so that there's a less of a risk of it being compromised and being hacked by hackers online.
Because it's not accessible.
Exactly, right? So that's the reason, right? And so that's one basic criteria, right? There's a lot more stuff that the Securities Commission look at. For example, do you have the necessary capitals? Do you have the necessary experience? Do you have the right systems in place to protect against cyber hacking? All these are the things that the Securities Commission look at. And once they obviously filter out the first layer, then they come in and knock on our door, and they basically wanted to demonstrate that we indeed have these things in place. They start asking a lot of difficult questions as well. Why is this? Why is that? And stuff like that. But after a long, long process,
How long did it take?
It took us about, so we applied sometime in mid-year. We took about 4 months, right? Which is pretty fast, I'd say, because SC gave us a full 9 months to do it, to demonstrate that. But we got it within 4 months. And thankfully we got it, right? Which we're really, really thankful of.
Luno is a multinational, right?
Oh, we are.
Okay.
We are.
So why was it worth it to go through all this pain that the regulators ask for all these things, and it's still worth it to look at Malaysia and really run this?
I think a lot of people don't realize Malaysia as a country, and I'm proud, I'm a Malaysian, I'm really proud to say this, right? We're actually a very progressive country when it comes to technology, innovations and adoption. And cryptocurrency is one of them, right? Malaysian government, instead of taking a step back and say, let's see how the market grows, they've taken a proactive step to look to put regulations in place so that they can try and harness this new industry in a very meaningful way, right?
Okay.
We see that, we've seen this extremely positive attitude, right, by the Malaysian government compared to other governments around the world who's kind of looking into it, but they just don't have the kind of tendency to move as fast as Malaysians. And that gives a lot of confidence, right, as a multinational company, to put people on the ground, to invest lots of money in the country to try and develop the ecosystem together with the Malaysian government. So which is why we're so happy to be here, because we know that if we put our investment here today, we'll be able to operate business and create a really meaningful industry over a long, long time.
Regulation-wise, you have to adhere to the laws of the land. But operation-wise, because it's the World Wide Web and it's digital, anyone can transact, or you can transact with anyone. So are you also looking at Malaysia to be the hub or one of the frontier leaders in that sense to really generate something out of that? Because right now, since then, people are only speculating onto itself, like Bitcoin onto itself. But looking at how it spread into the real economy and really bring value, I think a lot more people are more interested in that. And I think that will be the dam breaker.
100%, right. Providing a platform for people to trade and access cryptocurrency is only the first step. We have a long-term plan, right, in trying to develop this new digital economy as a whole in a more meaningful way, right? So, for example, something that's quite imminent, quite soon, is apart from just allowing people to access in the cryptocurrency, can we build the crypto market and leverage on the technology, right, to build a meaningful fundraising, capital like market for startups, SMEs. So, for example, the Securities Commission will be publishing a framework to regulate this fundraising activity called the initial coin offering market, to allow startups to start applying and create their own tokens and raise funds from global investors, right? So we see that as a second step, where we will try to work with regulators to try and develop these new fundraising markets so that startups that doesn't get access from banks because of the loans and high interest rates, they can come to us.
Assuming that Malaysian takes to digital assets and cryptocurrency, many people are waiting to see how it filters out to help real economy. Because more often than not, the money as we know it before has killed real economy. Look at the subprime crisis. Closer to home, look at 1MDB. It started with good intentions, to raise funds and whatever, but look what happened. So why should it be different with digital asset and cryptocurrency?
So digital assets, as we all know, it's supported by an underlying technology called blockchain, right? And with blockchain, as you correctly mentioned just now, it has digital footprints where if you transact with digital assets, the transaction can be traced from one point to another point, right? It doesn't matter if I transfer to you, you transfer to your friends, it's all recorded on a blockchain, right? And actually that's essentially the beauty of it. It actually helps eliminates money laundering, right? It helps eliminates, illicit activities.
Because everything can be verified.
Exactly, right. And obviously companies like us, we do KYC on users. We know exactly which users own which wallet. Obviously, we do not divulge the information to any authorities unless there's a criminal case. But it allows us to basically put all the information linked together to really cut down and eradicate this issue, right? On top of that, obviously, because transaction happening on blockchain is really, really fast, it's really cheap as well. A lot of people uses digital assets to really just transfer the value of money to one point to another point around the world in just 15 minutes. Right? So that shows you the potential of blockchain technology.
It doesn't go through anyone else.
Exactly, right. So there's no middle party, it's peer-to-peer, and it allows transactions to be conducted really fast, really cheap, right? And that's the beauty of the technology.
But the thing is now, let's say I'm studying in America and whoever is supporting me is sending me money, cryptocurrency. But because the world has not matured that way yet, I still need to convert that digital currency to the old money of paper and cents. But what we're talking about of building block, assuming that in the future that's no longer the case, cryptocurrency works for us everywhere. That's why in next year's budget, government is spending 45 million of our taxpayers' money to boost e-wallet adoption. This is where we're heading, right?
Yeah, obviously, right. I think from the government's plan, In fact, any government around the world wants to digitize cash, right? They don't like cash. Cash has a lot of risk, a lot of costs to it, to maintaining it as well, right? Arguably, we see that cryptocurrency can be that enabler to digitize all your cash and enable the economy that's much more transparent, fast, cheap, across the world, right? A lot of governments obviously are just right now just taking a first step in trying to understand that technology, right? Understand the use case for blockchain, right? But I think over the next few years, we'll start seeing a lot more government really looking to taking this technology a lot more seriously to kind of figure out how do we implement this to not just improve the financial side of things, but also improve any internal processes that they have, right, to speed things up.
David, I'm a never walk alone guy because I support Liverpool. So I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate because I don't like the red team called Red Devils. But I have to play it here.
Sure.
Do you realize how many sectors, pillars that you are disrupting just by offering this service in this country and Southeast Asia for you?
No, I mean, for us, it's really a case of whatever that helps consumers, right, people around the world, right, to transact things in a borderless, fast, cheap manner. It's something that we
But you don't deny that you're disrupting.
we are. And it's not just the companies like us who's playing the game realizes it. I think a lot of traditional players like banks, right,
Trying to move in.
of course, right, they are looking to these technologies, right? So it's not a case of just Luno as an exchange, as you know, as a technology company, you know, wanting to bring this new change and disrupt the economy. A lot of players are already looking to this. Even government, arguably, is looking into this.
We've been into this debate. FinTech or TechFin? Financial technology or technology the other way around? Technology, financial.
Well, to us, it means the same thing, frankly. Anything that technology can bring to improve the financial system, to make things more efficient, is the way forward.
Imagine all the foreign currency traders that will not have a business anymore because crypto works everywhere around the world at the same denomination, right?
Right. Which is why these foreign exchange companies, some of them have actually started looking to blockchain on their own. Some have also partnered with crypto companies, such as Ripple, to start piloting a sandbox to facilitate cross-border transfer within their own ecosystem to see if there's actual demand for it.
Okay.
So again, collaboration.
I said that from a consumer perspective, but imagine on national levels where people now complain because ringgit is so low as compared to Thailand, Singapore, let alone, you know, Europe, Switzerland, wherever it is. So imagine with cryptocurrency, you know, it will be a whole new dynamic.
Well, it will be.
Price of oil, for example, if it's only in digital sense.
Of course. I think it's important to realize that you know, it doesn't have to be overnight, right? It doesn't have to be in a case where digital currency or digital assets becomes popular and then, you know, all these traditional finance, such as fiat, becomes obsolete, right? I think it's a case of both worlds, and you need both.
So it's
herald
a
new
transition.
economy. It's a transition period, but it'll never be a case where all these old systems are completely replaced. I think the system will actually upgrade by itself. I think that's what's going to happen, right? A lot of people who maintain these legacies, maintain this current system, they'll find innovative ways to cut costs as well, because cut costs is not just for the consumers, it's also beneficial to them as a business or as an institution, right? Because they become more efficient, do things much faster.
Imagine the hedgings of currency that we do not have to do for oil.
Yep.
I mean, the airlines, look at AirAsia, you know, how much they have to hedge, right? So that's all gone with this.
I think what I would say to that is that it might be a bit too soon to say that at the moment.
But if you plan for it, I mean, it's coming. It's just a matter of time.
Might take 10 years, might take 20 years. We don't know.
You really think so?
Well, I'll never rule out any possibility.
What would speed it up?
I think it's always a case of collaboration, right? It's always a case of collaboration. We can't do it alone, like I said. We're just a tech company.
And you need size, right?
Definitely, right? We need the right regulatory environment as well to thrive. Again, if regulators around the world, policymakers doesn't buy in the benefits of the technology as a whole, then it's not gonna happen.
So if David has to say anything for the next general election 4 years from now, elect MPs who understand digital assets, cryptocurrency, right?
Technology.
Okay, now I'm going to ask the rapid fire question. You're going to be our Siri for cryptocurrency industry right now in the world. So where is it at right now in the world? How big is it as compared to the old, you know, the old money fiat thing?
I'm a realist. I won't lie. the market for crypto right now is still very, very small. For example, if you ask 100 Malaysians, only perhaps 10% of them would have heard it, and out of the 10%, only maybe one would have actually purchased cryptocurrency and understand what the technology is about, right? So I think we're still in a very, very early stage, despite...
globally, what's the rate?
Globally, right?
Same thing?
Same thing, right?
Okay.
I think we speak to customers around the world. That's been a consistent response. A lot of people see it as an asset class, as an investment use case right now. They don't see it beyond that. However, as the understanding grows about technology, as more people start accessing to this technology as a whole, they start understanding the use case for the technology, and they start experimenting with very creative stuff, right? So we've seen a lot of startups coming in who uses the blockchain, uses cryptocurrency, and start trying out with new projects that they've never tried before and try to be innovative. So I think that's how things will move from there. It's still very early days, even though we're already disrupting Malaysia, but it's still very early days. It's not too late. And I think a lot of Malaysians still have the opportunity to really, really experiment with what they can do with cryptocurrency, right? And get excited along the way as well.
People might be used to the old discussion about if you want ringgit to be better, then get more people around the world to use ringgit because they will buy ringgit and ringgit will appreciate, right?
Of course.
How does it work for cryptocurrency?
So that demand for a currency, be it for ringgit or even a cryptocurrency, right, always lies on its use cases, right? Is there a use case for ringgit to be adopted around the world? It's a simple question, right? If only a certain region or a certain sector sees ringgit as a good use case, then they'll use it, then demand will go up. But if it doesn't, that's where it kind of matures. Arguably, right, cryptocurrency allows you to create some sort of a technology called stable coins, which is pegged against the ringgit, right? So you can create one crypto against one ringgit, and that creates a stable price. Arguably speaking, because the adoption of crypto in a growth rate is much faster than any other technology around the world, there is a case to be made that perhaps the government of Malaysia could look into creating their own stable coin pegged against the ringgit.
I see.
Right? If they're concerned about volatility, they can combine it as a basket against the gold.
Way
correct, right?
Forward.
It doesn't have to be one-to-one pegged to ringgit. It can be a basket together with the gold, which is a lot more stable. And what's most important is to promote it around the world. And if people see values in using it, and it's a whole new blue oceans, right? Then arguably the whole ringgit value underlying that technology will become much more in demand as well.
There's so many more things I want to ask, like Luno projection of EBITDA and whatever. But I'm going to confine myself to just one question. This is because of you guys. If it's an asset class, maknanya jika mata wang kripto ni secara digital adalah harta. A lot of people, sometimes people invest in currency because they think it appreciates and they buy it when it's low, right? Will it be your advice to the people watching this, if they don't try to understand it anywhere else, just park that extra resources that you have, transform it into a cryptocurrency, because the world is turning digital. They will have a need for better, efficient method of money in the digital world. And for now, crypto looks to be it, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or anyone else. So would your advice be that?
I would advise anyone who wants to experience a new form of technology to not park, but take a small sum. It can be as low as 3 ringgit, in fact. It doesn't have to be even 1,000 ringgit. Access it, right, through a legitimate platform like Luno, and then learn about technology. Because the best way to learn is always to use it, right, in anything that you learn, right? So access it, use it in a small sum, right? Try understand it, and you can even try remitting to your friends, right? Transferring to your friends, and then you start learning about the benefit of technology, and then the whole world becomes your playground, right? So that's what I would advise.
What's your office in KL again?
It's somewhere near the curve.
See, you can go and find him at Starbucks near there or whatever. Thank you so much, David, for making time.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to have some other pitch that I want to give to David to bring Awani and crypto together, because Awani don't just talk about stuff. We actually have to test it out and see whether that can really carry for us too. So thanks to you for giving me that chance to pitch after this. It's a secret, you can't know. But if you want to know, keep on tuning to Agenda AWANI and Astro AWANI. I have so many more questions. For example, when I was in Davos, one anti-blockchain and chat ledger and cryptocurrency say the amount of energy needed just to verify one transaction can light up your house for 1 hour, for example. All those debate will have to come another day. But This is the new world. This is the fourth industrial revolution, disrupted world. And Malaysia don't just want to receive the tsunami, we also want to ride on top of the tsunami. This might be one way. Learn for yourself, and we'll see you in another episode very, very soon. Good night and goodbye.